We begin tonight with new information we've uncovered on last week's highly disturbing discovery inside a local house of squalor.
As crews in hazardous material suits continue cleaning out the vermin-infested home where the remains of 3 infants and several animals were found, we're also getting our first look inside the property. And today we've obtained photos taken by police during a drug arrest in the basement of that Blackstone home last month. Police say the filth seen here is nothing compared to the rest of the house. We're also uncovering more about the relationship between the woman facing criminal charges in the case and a man who was also living in the home. And we're learning more about the astounding scope of the cleanup. Crews were moving nearly twice as much hazardous material from the home as they expected to find. We have multiple crews working this shocking story. Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell is standing by at the scene in Blackstone, Mass, just over the Rhode Island border. But our in-depth coverage begins with Eyewitness News reporter Shantae Lance, who's live in the newsroom with eye-opening new details on the case.
Mike and Shannon, a lot of new details emerging at this hour. I obtained these court documents. In it is a statement by mother Erika Murray and a first glimpse inside her house of squalor. As the town of Blackstone begins to grieve, the first images emerge inside the house of squalor where the remains of 3 infants were found. This is the basement of 23 St. Paul Street. These pictures taken by Blackstone police obtained by Eyewitness News from court documents allegedly show a marijuana growth operation. In this image, clutter everywhere. But according to Uxbridge District Court documents, this is not the worst of it. Photos have not yet been released of any of the first floor and upstairs rooms, but a police narrative paints the picture. According to the documents, police were initially called by a neighbor. The reporting officer says, quote, "On arrival, I was met by the reporting party who stated that she was called by her son, who is friends with the male subject that lives at the address, and he asked her to come over because they could not get the babies to stop crying." The responding officer says after noticing the condition of the children, who he says were covered in soiled diapers and feces, he called for backup. One officer describes one room by saying, quote, "I could smell an extremely strong odor of human feces. Inside the room were dirty diapers and piles of trash." Also, new information released on the second adult living inside the house. Court documents revealed that 37-year-old Raymond Rivera is the boyfriend of mother 31-year-old Erika Murray. Police say Rivera was growing marijuana in the basement and filed a criminal complaint. The children remain in DCF custody. Their mother, Murray, is facing numerous charges, including fetal death concealment. And Raymond Rivera has not been charged in connection to the infant deaths. Coming up new at 6, from these documents, Erika Murray gives her explanation when police arrived at her house. Reporting live in the newsroom, Shantae Lance, Eyewitness News. Murray says that her current home is a prison unit, but police say it's what happened inside her family's home that landed her there. This is our first look inside 23 St. Paul Street, where the remains of 3 infants were found. These pictures of the basement taken by Blackstone police obtained by Eyewitness News from Uxbridge District Court documents allegedly shows a marijuana growth operation. The report also reveals that a neighbor called police after discovering children had been left in the home alone. She didn't want to be identified, but spoke about what she saw and how she confronted the mother, Erika Murray.
So I went into one room first and I found the smallest baby. She was laying in the middle of the bed, completely covered in feces, feces all on the wall. I was walking on dirty diapers to get to her. I was upset, I was crying, and I said to her, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Just really upset, right up next to her. And she's kind of laughed it off and shrugged her shoulders and said, I don't know. I said, "I want to know if you knew those babies were in that house when you left this morning. I want you to say it to me, that you knew those babies were in there." And she's like, "I knew they were in there."
After police arrived, the children were handed over to DCF. 31-year-old Murray was taken into police custody. According to court documents, she stated all children were hers, but she has not told anyone in her family, including the 2 older children, that the younger children are hers. She stated it was because she wasn't planning on having these 2 younger children, and she knew she couldn't afford them. And investigators found the remains of those 3 infants last week. Now, marijuana charges have been filed against her live-in boyfriend, Raymond Rivera. Reporting live in the newsroom, Shantae Lance, Eyewitness News.